All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're digging into a fantastic story about a university that was spending millions of dollars on marketing, but honestly, had no real idea what was actually working. They used data to play detective, and trust me, the results are pretty wild. I mean, just think about that for a second. What if you knew? No more guesswork. No more basing these huge budget decisions on what you think works, or just on a gut feeling. Instead, you'd have a clear, data-backed roadmap to success. Well, that's the exact position a major university found itself in, and it's at the heart of our entire explainer today. So here's how we're going to break down this little investigation. First, we'll look at the mystery the university was trying to solve. Then we'll see how they used data to crack the code. After that comes the fun part, the surprising clues they uncovered. Then we'll see the new action plan they put in place. And finally, the winning formula that changed absolutely everything for them. Okay, so let's set the scene. You've got this leading private university, and they have a classic problem. Their marketing budget? Totally flat. It's not growing. But the pressure to get more students enrolled? Oh yeah, that's going up. They were spending money on the whole shebang. TV ads, print, social media, you name it. But they were completely flying blind.
And this wasn't some simple problem. It was really complicated. For one, they had no idea which channel should get the credit when a student applied. Was it the Facebook ad or the TV commercial? They just didn't know. Then you have these big chunks of their budget going to TV and print just because, well, that's what they'd always done. On top of that, they had this nagging feeling their timing was all wrong, and they had no way to account for big things like the economy messing with their numbers. It was, to put it lightly, a mess.
And this is where it all came to a head. The university's leadership came to the marketing team and asked two very direct, very high-stakes questions. First, what's actually driving our enrollments? And second, how can we get better results with the exact same budget? The pressure was on to find real answers, and fast. So to solve a mystery this big, you can't just guess. You need a detective. And in this case, the university brought in a data detective. Its name? Marketing Mix Modeling. This was the tool that was going to cut through all that noise and find the cold, hard facts. So you might be asking, okay, what on earth is marketing mix modeling? Well, think of it like this. It's a super smart analysis that looks back at everything you've ever done. Every ad, every event, every dollar spent, and it compares it to your results. It untangles all those crossed wires to tell you exactly how much each specific thing you did impacted your goal. It's like the ultimate cause and effect machine for marketing. Okay, so the detective gets to work, and this, right here, is where the story gets really juicy, because the analysis started spitting out these clues, and the picture it painted was the complete opposite of what the university had always believed to be true. Their oldest assumptions were about to get blown out of the water. Just take a look at this. It's wild. That old belief that TV and print ads were essential, turns out they were way past their expiration date. They were basically just a money pit at this point. And the idea that all their digital marketing was kind of the same? Nope. The data showed that a few very specific tactics on platforms like Meta and LinkedIn were the real heavy hitters. And that always-on strategy of spending money all year, total mismatch for when students were actually thinking about enrolling. And this chart just says it all, doesn't it? Look at that first bar. That's a huge amount of money being spent on TV and print. Now look at the second one, a tiny, tiny amount of impact. That's called the point of diminishing returns. It's like pouring more water into a glass that's already full. Meanwhile, you've got social media over there, which the data proved was working, getting barely any of the budget. But wait, there's more. The next big clue wasn't about just one channel. It was about how different channels worked together. The data uncovered a secret weapon they didn't even know they had, this incredible synergy between their paid ads and their owned media. Things like campus events and email newsletters that they control themselves. And get this, the impact was massive. Prospects who saw a paid ad and interacted with an owned channel, like going to an open house, were literally twice as likely to enroll. 2 times! That isn't just a small lift. That's a total game changer that they had been completely missing out on. And the final nail in the coffin for the old strategy? It was all about timing. I mean, this timeline makes it painfully obvious. The peak time for students to actually apply and make decisions was in the spring. So when was the university spending most of its ad money? Way over in the summer. It was a complete and total disconnect. They were showing up to the party long after everyone else had gone home. So, okay, The mystery is solved. They have all these amazing clues. But finding out what's wrong is only half the battle, right? Now they had to do something about it. They had to turn these revelations into a bold, new, concrete action plan. And here it is. Here's the plan they built. First, rebalance the mix. Shift the money out of those wasteful traditional channels and into the high-performing digital ones. Second, optimize the timing. Concentrate that spending in the spring when it matters most. Third, and this is huge, intentionally build campaigns to create that 2x synergy effect. And finally, and this is so crucial, get all the teams aligned around this new data-backed plan and build a culture where they're always testing and always learning. All right, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. They had the clues, they had the plan, they put it into action. So, did it actually work? Let's look at the results. First things first, they made a bold move. They took a full 25% of their budget, we're talking millions of dollars, and pulled it right out of TV and print. And they didn't just pocket the savings. They strategically reinvested it into the digital channels that were proven to work, plus a new fund to experiment with what might work next. Next, they fixed that timing problem. A whopping 60% of their paid advertising budget was now concentrated right in that critical spring window. For the first time ever, they were fishing exactly where the fish were biting, right when they were biting. So what happened? Boom. A 30% increase in enrollment opportunities. And that's not some vague metric, you know? That's more qualified applications, more students signing up for tours, real people raising their hands. Their entire pipeline of prospective students just exploded. But here it is, the bottom line, the ultimate proof, an 18% year-over-year growth in total applications. And remember, they did this with a flat budget, no extra money. They just spent it smarter. That right there is the incredible power of letting data tell the story. What a story, right? It's just such a powerful reminder that the answers we're looking for are so often hiding in plain sight, right there in the data we already have. It leaves us with one last question to think about for ourselves. What old beliefs are holding you back? And what hidden trends are just waiting to be discovered that could completely reshape your success? Thanks for joining me on The Explainer.